From the mayor's house to the homes of city council members, protesters are bringing the debate over defunding the police to their doorsteps. Over the weekend, they showed up at the home of Seattle Police Chief Carmen Best. Good evening. I'm Mark Wright.
I'm Joyce Taylor. So in a letter, she says that took things too far. King 5's Vanessa Mashanya spoke with some of those protesters tonight.
In a letter, Chief Carmen Best said the protesters who visited her neighborhood were aggressive, and if it weren't for the intervention of her neighbors, they would have trespassed and caused damage. Well, I spoke to some of the protesters there that night, and they say there's another side to the story.
We literally wanted to go exercise our First Amendment right and ask the chief of police some questions.
That's what members of the Seattle group Everyday March said they wanted to do Saturday evening when they went to Chief Carmen Best's Snohomish neighborhood.
Some of our protesters then exited cars to go see what's going on up there, and at which point they were met with neighbors who had rifles in their faces.
Out of here. There's a private drive. Get out of the road.
They never got to the chief because they said neighbors intervened, blocking the road and showed them weapons.
We tried to educate them and tell them it wasn't okay.
They tried to explain what they were doing there, but the people on the road refused to move. They left when they no longer felt safe.
We are from Seattle. We represent part of Seattle. So if you want to stick up for the people in that neighborhood, then go work for that county or whatever the case may be. Give up your position as chief of police of Seattle and go work there since you're sticking up for them.
In a letter asking for city council to denounce the protesters' behavior, Chief Best said these protesters were being aggressive and lauded her neighbors for deterring crime. Snohomish County Sheriff Adam Fortney agreed with Best, calling the demonstrations at officials' homes a bullying tactic.
You guys are coming out your house with AR-15s to confront a bunch of people in clothing, cotton, no protection, no nothing. So if that's, I guess, whatever, bullying, I would not say that. Holding you accountable is more like it.
The group says they want understanding of what they're trying to accomplish, not to destroy, but to spark conversations.
We are not trying to just talk out and yell. We are truly here to have a conversation because the things happening in Seattle right now cannot keep happening.
They say they will continue to protest, continue to demonstrate until their demands are met. And speaking of those demands, Seattle City Council is in talks right now to see what defunding SBD would look like. And there's potentially a committee vote on that later on this week. In Seattle, Vanessa Mashanya, King 5 News.
Vanessa, thank you. Only one Seattle City Council member responded to Chief Best's letter during a meeting today. And here's what Tammy Morales had to say.
I take exception to the response by our police chief, who celebrated that her neighbors met these young people with guns.
City Council member Dan Strauss has met with the loosely formed group, but today did not condemn their visit to the chief's home.
Puyallup police are sharing this photo on social media showing the words "Pig lives here" written in chalk on the street outside a police officer's home. Puyallup's police chief posted a response on Facebook saying the officer whose home was targeted previously served in the Army and saw law enforcement as a way to continue serving. Chief Scott Engel went on to say in his post that police officers cannot do their job without support from the public.